What is good, YouTube? It's your boy OG Nomboy back with another video, and in today's video I got another ABB team for you guys, which consists of the NOCTOWL in the front with Villa Mudboys in the back with the Shadow Swampert and the Galarian Stunfisk. So the Swampert and Flyer core is pretty common. Usually you'd see the Swampert and Skarmory, but this time we got the NOCTOWL instead, and we also have a Galarian Stunfisk as the second ground type in the back. So I found this team while just playing GBL, and my opponent used it against me, so I decided to take their team since it did seem pretty solid. So let's see how we're able to do with this team here. First match, we have a Pelipper lead, and we have to stay in this just because we don't really have a better answer to Pelipper in the back. The Pelipper can actually also beat your Galarian Stunfisk, especially with a lead in energy, since they get to the weather balls faster than you can get to your rock slides, as it takes them 5 and then 4 wing attacks to get to their weather balls. But we correctly shield up the Hurricane here, which helps us out a lot, and then we're going to get another Sky Attack off. And then we just have to stay in here, and hopefully the opponent decides to bait here, but I mean, we're just going to let this go since I do not want to go 2 shields down, and I know we can survive a Hurricane anyways, so we're going to get this Hurricane off, and hopefully with shields down we can take care of whatever's in the back. But I swap into my Swampert here, and in hindsight I kind of regret the decision just because the Galarian Stunfisk swap in would have been a little bit safer, but we are met with a grass type, so a little bit of an unfortunate misplay by me. Like, we were ahead of shield, so even though we'd come in behind on energy with our Galarian Stunfisk, it still would have been a fine position. And then I also make another misplay here since I thought I'd be able to get them a little bit lower than this with my NOCTOWL, but now we're in a rough position since they're going to be able to get 2 Frenzy Plants off, and I can't afford to shield one of these since, I mean, 1 Earthquake doesn't even kill a Galarian Stunfisk from full health without the Mud Shot, so I need to get to multiple moves here on this Stunfisk. But I mean, I think our biggest mistake there was just coming in with the Swampert instead of the Galarian Stunfisk, and then also coming in with our NOCTOWL after. So next match though, we have a very positive lead against the Lickitung. So we're resisting the lick damage from the fast move, and we also are quite a bulky Pokemon, so only doing neutral damage back. And you're gonna see how much a Body Slam actually ends up doing here. So honestly, not too much. So as long as we keep an even shielding scenario here, we should win the matchup. And we definitely don't want to swap our Swampert into this just in case they do decide to go for a Power Whip. So I'm gonna go ahead and stay in here for a bit, and our health is still doing fine, so I'm okay with just playing this matchup out instead of swapping out. But opponent actually decides to shield, which is pretty interesting to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and shield this move and hopefully get a pretty nice farm down on my opponent. So they actually swap out into a Surfetched, and I'm going to throw this Sky Attack first because our back 2 Pokemon are weak to the Surfetched in a way. Like, our Swampert can't take a Leaf Blade, so we have to grab the shield before coming in here and getting a Hydro Cannon off. And then it's just up to what is in the back and if our Swampert and Galarian Stunfisk cumulatively can handle that Pokemon. So right now though, in a very comfortable position since we do have 2 healthy Pokemon in the back, and they only have a Lickitung and whatever else, but we do not get to see what's in the back as the opponent probably had something weak to the ground types in the back. So next match we have a Medicham lead, and honestly this isn't really the best or worst lead. Like, it's fairly neutral despite being a flyer into a fighting type, but we lose CMP to the Medicham, and I actually don't even know because on the Sims it looks like the NOCTOWL is supposed to win CMP, but my Medicham does lose to NOCTOWL's CMP because, like, I've been playing Medicham lead for the past few days, so I really don't know what's up. Like, maybe they have a non-XL Medicham or something, but let me know in the comments if you guys actually have some more insight into that, because I haven't been looking too closely into that. But we bring in our Galarian Stunfisk in here, we catch a Body Slam, which is very nice for us, and we should be in a pretty comfortable position. We just have to take out this Lickitung, and we should be able to leave this matchup with residual energy and minimal health. assuming they throw another power whip. So I'm going to attempt a full farm down here, and this gets a little bit dicey since I don't know if a power whip actually KOs it from this point, but they go for a body slam instead, and then we farm them all the way down. So now we are full on energy, and we should be able to get this earthquake off, which will put the Medicham quite low if they let it go. And then we also have a sky attack loaded already on our NOCTOWL, so gonna be able to throw this, and this should put the Medicham very low. And they throw the ice punch, so typically with this team I'm expecting a Bastiodon in the back, but I shield anyways. And we are met with a Stunfisk, so here they're going to outpace us to the Earthquake, so I thought we wouldn't be able to survive, so I throw the Hydro Cannon here, and they're going to get the Earthquake off, and it actually ends up not taking us out, so we're able to reach a second Hydro Cannon. So in hindsight, definitely should have gone for the Earthquake, but I didn't know at the time. So now we should simul KO, and since we have our NOCTOWL in the back, we end up winning that match. Next match here, we have the Dream lead of Trevenant. So they swap into a NOCTOWL, and we bring in our Stunfisk. So actually in this matchup, apparently, the NOCTOWL can win if it has an attack breakpoint against the Stunfisk in the 2 shields. So I'm a little bit worried that my opponent might have that. So we'll see how the opponent ends up playing this matchup out here. So we get the second Rock Slide off, and as you're going to see here, we definitely need a third to take out this NOCTOWL, since we will not be able to farm them all the way down. So they CMP tie us on this next Rock Slide. So another Shadow Ball coming through, and we're going to throw this and see what the opponent decides to do here. So opponent actually looking like they want to fight for switch here. So this is what I'm talking about. With the attack breakpoint, the wing attacks do an extra 1 damage to the Galarian Stunfisk, but it kind of is looking like our opponent does not have that breakpoint, since it seems like we will be able to win this in the 2 shields, as their fast move is not doing quite enough damage. So a little bit unfortunate for my opponent, but maybe if you guys have a NOCTOWL with the attack breakpoint, you should consider making it, since they would have flip switch in this scenario. So they end up having a Lanturn in the back, so this actually works out for us, since they have to throw a move unless they want us to reach a Earthquake on our Stunfisk here. So we can bring the Swampert into the Lanturn, and I'm going to be careful to not allow them to catch, and that was one of their win cons, but we kind of knew that, so we were looking out for it, and we're able to secure that match there. Next match, we have a Lanturn lead, which is pretty rough for us, but we have 2 answers to this in the back. So hopefully we will be able to flip switch. And they're throwing a move here, so I'm going to let it go, just because I'm anticipating that they're going to bring something in that is pretty strong against our Swampert, so there's no point in shielding that and then losing the secondary matchup. And they end up bringing a Greedent, so we will be able to grab a shield here if they want to maintain switch alignment, as this next Hydro Cannon will KO. So we get a shield, and this isn't really that great a position for us, since they have the alignment that they want, and also this Greedent here is going to be able to get a lot of damage off on our NOCTOWL. So as you can see here, these body slams do not too much, but they're definitely going to add up, and they get to these body slams very quickly with their fast move of Seed Bomb. So after this, we're going to be put close to the red, or actually we end up getting put into the red since they decide to go for a crunch, but I'm going to throw this to take them out. I'm anticipating the Lanturn coming back in, but they actually bring the NOCTOWL in, so I'm kind of regretting swapping immediately, but it actually ends up working out for us since they stay in for a little bit, and this allows us to build up enough energy to hit an Earthquake, and they try to call the bait, but that ends up not working out for them. We're going to shield this and then get a farm down, so we should be ahead on energy going into the next matchup. So now we have a Rock Slide loaded, and we should just be fine here playing this out. We still have our NOCTOWL in the back, which they can't quite farm down. They'd have to throw a move on our NOCTOWL to take it out. So I'm going to just stay in here, get these Rock Slides off, and see what the opponent decides to do. And next Rock Slide coming through. So the opponent decides to no shield this, so I'm going to bring my NOCTOWL in, and like I said before, they do have to throw a move to take me out, because as you can see, they didn't do that, and we were able to farm them down. So we end up going 4-1 in this set, and I also played this for a couple of other sets, and I believe I only went positive in those sets as well. So overall, a very solid team if you want to try it out. And that is all for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, you make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and also submit your battles in the link in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one.